Welcome to the Emmy Award-winning Tennessee Valley this morning. I'm Rob Alderman. The Slinky has the night off. But with me is the wonderful, amazing, talented Ashley Rayburn, who now picks a topic. Ready? Go!
This week, the first...
We're direct to you, folks.
Yes, we are.
This week, we don't edit this.
The first crossover media between Star Trek and Doctor Who occurred in comic book form. What do you think about that?
How'd you get married?
I told you.
So, is that a sonic screwdriver in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
No.
Here's the deal, camera one. What Ashley's telling you about is that, for those of you who don't understand, like Mincy does, this means that in a comic book, Star Trek, the people from Star Trek and the people from Doctor Who got together and had an adventure, right?
Correct.
And you want to know what I think about that?
Yes.
Here's what I think about that. Last week, Ryan made me wear a Jedi outfit, right?
I don't know. I was at a Doctor Who convention.
And then this week, you're asking camera one, you're asking all of our viewers, right, what they think about the fact that Star Trek people and Doctor Who people got together in a comic book for the first time. So I got two thoughts, all right? The first one is I need better friends. Okay? I mean, not better friends. You're a great friend. I need maybe some friends that can teach me some up-to-date stuff, right? You know, I mean, what's new out there in the science fiction world? Something good. There's got to be something cool. We're still talking about this. But the second thing that I'm going to say is this. Maybe what I want to know is what took so long. That's a long time.
Two franchises that have been around for 50 years?
Maybe they
Almost
fight
50.
a lot. Maybe like they don't get along at Star Trek conventions. And that's the problem.
Well,
That's
Doctor
the
Who's
problem.
better.
This is the... Here's the problem. Here's what the problem is that they each have their own conventions. If they had shared their conventions, then maybe this would have happened sooner. And you wouldn't have had to wait.
I wouldn't have had to wait.
Did you buy it?
I did.
Is it awesome?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm not a big fan of the art, but...
Who's tougher in it? James
Well, it's
T.
just the
Kirk
first-
or Doctor Who?
Well, it's the next generation.
Which-
And it's your friend, Matt Smith.
So it's the
as
newest
It's
Doctor.
the new stuff, yeah.
I do like, to be honest, okay, to be fair, because I don't want to leave you hanging out there. I like the new Doctor Who a lot since it became a regular good show. You know, the old stuff that people like you have to pretend to like is the stuff that I don't appreciate. Like the stuff that has no soundtrack and like everything is just a garbage can with a plunger on the end of it that's like, I'll kill you. Like, I don't like that stuff. So I don't know. 50 years in the making. I hope that it's worth the money.
Yeah, it is. So far.
We have an awful show coming up for you, but great guests. Eva Van Hook and her sidekick friend, the Boy Wonder, are here. And Hollywood diva Phyllis Wilbanks is here to talk about her latest film. Alan Mincy's in the audience. We got some big news. We got some little news. We got some previews. All this and more coming up on Tennessee Valley this morning. 50 years. It's a long time.
It is a long time.
From now on, whenever Joe tells me the mics are up while the music thing is still playing, I'm going to narrate the opening. Like, yeah, this is Cleveland. You like it. You ready for some big news?
I am.
It's time for the big news. Unfortunately, I have to use all the inflection in my voice and pretend like I'm the Hollywood Slinky and myself, because with the Slinky gone, Ashley's graciously agreed to sit in.
And I just say random words every once in a while, like, yes, and I agree, and sure.
Right. So when we prep our guests, we say things like "don't answer" with one word because it makes it the longest show.
So I'm the host, so
Ever.
I will, I'm the co-host, so I will use one word.
Well, do you know where we get the big news from?
I do.
Why don't you tell camera one where the big news comes from?
Well, camera one, the big news comes from Rob going out to the to his driveway.
Have you seen the show before?
From a different angle. To his driveway and picking up the Cleveland Daily Banner.
That's right. I walk outside.
That's what I said.
The Cleveland Daily Banner.
It's done.
Arrives promptly on my sidewalk, kind of closer to the street out there. If there's any mud or water in the yard, that's where it is.
Yes.
I walk outside. I say, like, where would be the best place for me to
you
find
look at the dry
newspaper,
spot, and then you
I
look
go
at the
somewhere
wet
else.
spot.
Right, then I look somewhere else. I go out there. I dust this thing off. I set it over my railing. I let it dry for a while. Once it's dry, I can scratch the dirt off of it. I open it up, and I read the headlines.
Do you use a hairdryer at some point?
I don't. That's why I set it over the...
I'm guessing you don't really have
No
a
hair. In the big news today, Cleveland Utilities, who we know and love.
You like to sing and dance about them.
I sing and dance. We have a song for them. We have a dance for them. You know, we love them. The average Cleveland Utilities guy stays at Cleveland Utilities for like 80 years before he retires. It's an 80-year job.
My grandfather worked at the Cleveland Utilities, and he stayed there for about 80 years.
That's exactly it. Anyway, Cleveland Utilities, we know you, we love you, and today we're happy for you because their very first FEMA reimbursement check has arrived.
It's quite a check, too.
So, yeah, it's no joke. At $1.25 million, the Cleveland Utilities guys are rolling in bank.
What is that in actual numbers? I never can figure that out.
$1.25 million.
1.25. I mean, is that like...
It's 1.25.
Yeah, see? What you said.
1.25 million.
1.25 million.
And it's
Why
not-
don't they just say that?
If you were to take,
Decimals
listen, if
in
you
it.
want to know what that's like in real numbers, you take that, and that is 1/3 of my salary for doing this show.
Oh.
When I do the show yearly, they pay me, it's a little bit of money.
Right.
Not quite what they make at Cleveland Utilities.
Right.
It's a decent amount. It's enough to make an honest wage in this town. This is 1/3 of that. Does that work for you?
Yes, I understand that.
You've seen how I roll.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
puts it in perspective. Anyway,
You're a baller.
FEMA has, that's what I am. FEMA has written a big fat check to Cleveland Utilities. As you guys know, they were some of the many, many heroes after the storms hit. They were out there working nonstop. They did tons of work. We had people coming in from all over the country to help them out, but the cost of that was enormous. And listen, when you got to turn the power back on, you can't just wait for checks, because you know I don't pay them.
Just got to turn it on.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm like a lot of people in this town. Maybe I pay Cleveland Utilities, maybe I don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I make that decision, right? When the time comes, kind of like how we get a co-host just before the show or some guests on Facebook. So anyway, Cleveland Utilities, I'm sure that after the storms you were hearing things like, I don't have my checkbook right now. You know, things like that. I'm not so sure if the bank is still here. Things like that. People weren't quite positive. You did the work anyway. Now you're receiving big fat government cash. In other news, here locally, the finance leaders of our city, of our fair city, have agreed to approve unused misdemeanor probation officer salaries as a bonus for those probation officers. So here's how this works.
Okay.
Okay. Let's say you are a probation officer and you are one of several, and you guys are each making a certain wage based on how much you're supposed to work. And we've approved your salaries for the year.
Approve my salary.
But some of you don't work all the time. You
Okay.
take a few days off here, you take a few days off there.
No vacation time.
Well, I don't know that this includes or doesn't include your vacation time. What I'm saying is, for whatever reason, you took a day off here, you took a day off there, so there's money left over from when you didn't work.
Right.
What we're saying is, you can have that money.
Give it to me.
That money. So to the tune of $9,000, I look like Mincy's here, right, today, and he's sitting over in the corner, and it was really bothering him, like the way that we're approaching this story.
That's a third.
That's a third of your salary. So anyway, here's the deal, camera one. The fact is there are some unused salaries, okay, for these misdemeanor probation officers. And I'm guessing misdemeanor probation officers are the guys that handle like little crime.
Right.
You know, stuff that's not a big, huge deal. You know, maybe, I don't know what
like people skateboarding where they're not supposed to.
Right, you're not supposed to skateboard here. That's a misdemeanor. And so now you've got a probation officer. Right. He's like, look, I took away the kid's skateboard. I'm going to take Tuesday off. Right? I'm not going to go in that day. So we don't have to, you know, pay him for that day because he didn't work.
But we do now.
But in the end, now we do. Thank you, Finance Labor Committee. So we're going to pay these misdemeanor probation officers. Probably some of you guys are my friends. Don't be mad at me. I'm calling it the way I see it. Our last bit of local news is sad.
Yes, it is.
But we have to cover it. We cover the sad news. And I feel bad because, honestly, I feel like recently we've had to cover really serious news several times. But, you know, last
we don't like
week, of
serious
course.
News.
No, we don't. But last week, of course, we were covering the funeral for our police officer, the first police officer who was had died in duty in like 50 years, and the whole town came out to show their support. And then this week, we've had another tragedy in our community as a young 3-year-old girl did in fact die. Those of you who've been following this story all week, she did die from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. And so our thoughts and prayers definitely go out to the family there. This has just been a horrible couple weeks here in this community. And we like to have a lot of fun on this show, but in all honesty, it's an absolute tragedy, and we're really, really terribly sorry to hear about that. That's nothing any family should ever have to go through.
No.
So we're going to move along to news that we can make fun of. And that, of course, is national news.
National news. You can always make fun of news.
We got to get out of there somehow, or we start crying. I don't know what else to do. I got little kids. It's like the most awful news ever. So moving on to national news. I know you're Politico.
Yeah, you know me.
You know, most of you Doctor Who fans follow national politics, and that's not true. Most of you Doctor Who fans are
We're like, what's the news?
Yeah, most of you Doctor Who fans are hoping for anybody that's going to come in and say legalize it. You know, but you're all Ron Paul fans, right? You going to vote for Ron Paul?
I don't think I can anymore. I think he's off the ballot.
You can always vote for Ron Paul, number one. As long as there's an internet, you can vote for Ron Paul.
I will say that I think Ron Paul is the best candidate.
That's what I'm saying. Ron Paul and Doctor Who go together.
Mainly
but here's
because,
what doesn't go together.
Well, maybe.
You ready? Here's what doesn't go together with you Doctor Who fans, and I'm sure you're outraged about this. John Edwards has been found not guilty of one of his 5 or 6 things that he was in trouble for with the law, and the other 5 things were thrown out of court. So he was found not guilty on one, and the other 5 went away. Right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. Camera one, I didn't know John Edwards was still alive. I was unaware. He hasn't really done much lately. I mean, apparently he did some things to get him in trouble, but, you know, things that affect me. I know he ran a long time ago, and he got in a lot of trouble
and he
for
pays
stuff he
for,
oughtn't to be doing.
He pays for really expensive haircuts.
Is that what that was about?
I don't know if that's what it's about, but I know
he does have sweet hair. I was looking at his picture online, and his hair is really, really nice.
It's because he pays like $500 to get that haircut.
Here's the deal.
I would probably have sweet hair too. You might even have sweet hair if you paid that much.
I know. Well, I would have sweet hair if I had the ability to get 5 of my national grand jury charges thrown out, and one of them I was fine with.
Maybe that's why he could get
I could do a lot of.
He's just like, look at my hair. And everyone just forgets about everything else, and they're just looking at his hair. And
that's a fantastic idea. Who says you're no fun on TV?
Well,
actually?
you do.
Not me.
But,
yeah, I do sometimes. But that's because I'm cruel.
Yeah.
It's not because I actually believe that. I think you're actually right. I think that in front of the grand jury, John Edwards, the hair, the suit, they said this is a handsome man.
He probably could have came
He should get away with whatever
only
he
the
wants.
hair.
He should get away with whatever he wants because he is handsome, he is rich, and he is white.
And he has good hair.
That's the way America. That's the way America works, people. That's the way America works. Hollywood news. You take it.
Hollywood news. In Hollywood news, Snooki is still pregnant, and
It's still a boy.
A boy.
We'll be back after this with Eva Crawford Van Hook, her sidekick, and hopefully something that really matters. Tennessee Valley this morning.
I'm Kathy Guy with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. Call us today for all your personal insurance needs. With 28 years in the insurance business, I have the solutions and pricing you are looking for. At Landmark Insurance Brokerage, we've got you covered.
Have annoying biting and stinging insects taken over your yard? Volunteer Rid-A-Pest can get it back. Make your yard a no-fly zone with Mosquito Guard. Volunteer Rid-A-Pest will eliminate these annoying pests, and you'll be able to work in your yard, have a pool party, a cookout, allow your children to play outside, or just sit outside and enjoy the evening. Volunteer Rid-A-Pest has developed an extremely effective treatment program that treats all shrubs, bushes, trees, and other foliage where mosquitoes and other biting, stinging insects live and breed. This material will not harm your plants or trees and leaves no harmful residue. This treatment program is safe for use around children and pets, but the best part is it's 100% guaranteed. If you are not 100% satisfied, Volunteer Rid-A-Pest will retreat for free until you are satisfied, or after 30 days, will cancel their agreement and refund 100% of your money. Give Volunteer Rid-A-Pest a call for a free no-obligation estimate. Phone 472-7736.
And we're back. You're watching Tennessee Valley this morning. I'm Rob Alderman. The Slinky has the night off. Ashley is not on set right now because we only have 3 chairs. That's how that works. We have 3 chairs. We have 3 mics. What more do you want? You see what it's like when we try to have 4 people up here, and it's always a disaster. So I can't do that. The last time, well, you know what it was like the last time, and it wasn't good. But with me now, I have Eva Crawford Van Hook and her sidekick, the man in the blue shirt. And they're here to talk about Family Promise of Bradley County. And we're so glad to have you on the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
This is Brian Stewart, our director, new director. For
Brian
Family Promise.
Stewart, the new director. Well, Brian, what did you do before you were the director?
I've been, the last 12 years, been working in social services for United Way and for Signal Centers. So just different programs within different agencies.
Here in town or
Mainly
elsewhere?
Mainly in Chattanooga. Mainly in Chattanooga. I live here in Cleveland, but mainly in Chattanooga. I've been working with agencies down there.
Well, if you've worked with United Way, then I don't need to tell you that Matt Ryerson is a superhero.
Absolutely.
And I don't need to tell you that he is the Tim Tebow of Cleveland. Right?
I totally agree.
So I guess what I'm saying is, at best, you're going to be number 2. That's what you know what I'm saying? In the hearts of people. In the hearts of people.
Probably number 3 behind Alan Mincy.
That's also...
You got to consider that.
That's also true.
You got to consider that.
That's also true. And Matt Carlson's way up there. He's like a number 5 or 6, so watch out. He's on your tail. That's what I'm saying. So, Brian, Eva, tell me a little bit about Family Promise of Bradley County and what you guys have going on right now.
Family Promise, what we do, we're an organization that helps homeless families get off the street. We put them in churches, we house them and feed them. And during the day while the children are at school, the parents come to the day center. We get them hooked into the right resources to where they can get back on their feet. Our goal is to get them into housing, their own housing.
Okay, so these are families. I want to make sure that I understand. This is going to be the boring part, camera one, where I just simply repeat what Eva says. But I want to make sure that I understand. So these are homeless families, and you get them in churches. They actually live in the church while they're waiting for you guys to find place where they can live. Or?
They sleep in the church.
I'm sure it's more complex.
It is fairly complex, so I'm trying
Yeah.
to keep it light, fairly simple and
Don't
easy.
keep it light. This is a well-informed crew. We're what you consider academic television.
Okay.
So our viewership are professor types.
Okay. All
They're
right. So I'll
the
go.
Jimmy Logans, the Joe Palos, the Steve Hartlines of the world.
Awesome.
So you're talking
Well,
about
that's great.
heavy scholarship here. So feel free to explain a little bit of the complexity, if you will.
Well, the family will go, they arrive at the churches at 5:30 in the evening. They eat dinner family style with what we call hosts. Whoever's at the church has to stay with the family to make sure that the physical location, everything's okay. If there is an emergency, they know who to contact. So the church houses them from 5:30 in the evening to 7 a.m., feed them in the evenings, Monday through Friday. Saturday morning, we give them a hot breakfast. We encourage the churches to try to organize Saturday activities like everybody would do on their own. You go hiking or biking on a Saturday. You go and play at the park with the little kids on Saturdays. And then throughout the week, we guide and we direct. We don't do. Families do. The adults do. So we can guide and direct them to the right resources and to the right people. But the adults actually have to go out and do it.
Okay.
So we've made a lot of connections, a lot of friends throughout the community. People like Kelly Kyle over at the Refuge Center is awesome.
Yeah.
The United Way, we've been in touch with them. Daniel with the Furniture Bank. There's a lot of things going
Daniel's
on.
like a superstar right now.
There's your
Daniel's
next
super
number
cool.
one.
I'm
There's your next number
gonna
one.
throw one out to you, Daniel. You ready? See, Daniel, this is what you don't know about Daniel Murch. This is a true story. I love it. I love how like we talk about him like it's always been around, like Daniel with the Furniture Bank. Like for the last 24 hours, Daniel has had a furniture bank. So anyway, but here's the deal, Daniel, and you didn't know this was coming, buddy, but you should have, because I warned him. I warned him of this, and so now he needs to know that he's getting his comeuppance, as we say. Is that you want to know the truth about Daniel? Everybody thinks he's great. He's like the greatest volunteer ever. Okay? But like months and months ago during the tornadoes, he came and he took my chainsaws and he said, "We're going to go cut down some trees." And I never saw him again. And every single time I see Daniel at the Starbucks or at Inman Street Coffee House or at Lassiter's Coffee House or at Panera Coffee House, wherever I see him at those coffee houses, I'm always like, "Hey, Daniel, how are my chainsaws?" And he's like, "Great, we were just cutting with them." Right. Right, Daniel. And now I know what really happened. He took my sweet chainsaws and he sold them for some used furniture.
That's exactly right.
And then he went out and he got himself some sort of front page news story in the Cleveland Daily. And he thinks, "You think there's no trail, Murch? We're going to find you." Anyway, so I'm sorry that I had to go that way, but I did. I did. I told him, I said, until those chainsaws come back, I'm going to talk about it every chance I get.
Oh, nice. Well,
So
I'm
I
glad to
wouldn't be a
provide
man
that.
of my word if
all
I
right.
didn't, you see.
Absolutely.
So anyway, Daniel at the furniture store has recently, as of yesterday, begun helping you with furniture. And I'm
He has.
sorry.
He has,
No, but
he
seriously, there's a lot of people in this town doing great stuff. Daniel's one of them, unfortunately, even if he is a chainsaw thief.
You can continue to stalk him for your chainsaws, though.
And I will. So anyway, so you guys put people in touch with these folks, and then they. So like you're like, if the Cleveland do-gooders, as we say, led by the Tim Tebow of Cleveland and Daniel Murch, and all these folks, if they were like Charlie's Angels, you guys are kind of like Charlie,
Totally.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
I can see that.
You're kind of like Charlie.
absolutely
You, like,
right.
you get them all on the phone, and you're
Exactly.
like, "We have a problem, Angels."
We do. We tend to swoop in when obstacles arise and find out ways over around them or through them.
That makes sense. So, do you have a physical location? Do you exist?
We do. Our day center is located at 1110 Norman Chapel Drive, just right down the road. It's actually the only house that sits in Wesley Memorial United Methodist Church. There used to be 2 houses that sat in the parking lot. Now there's one. That's us.
Okay,
That's
that's
us.
easy to find.
So, and we also have a website. It's familypromisebradley.org. Come check us out. We've got lots of information, including in September, we're going to have an upcoming bed race. It's our 2nd annual bed race. Oh, this is so sweet. It's so much fun.
You see my face.
He's intrigued.
Yes.
He needs
You
more
see my
details.
face.
He's
I'm
intrigued.
intrigued, camera one. What's a bed race? And before we continue, there are some children that watch this show. So for those of you with children, I don't know. I've never even met these people. I don't know what they're going to talk about. So you may want to.
We can do the G-rated version.
This good.
We'll
Tell
do
us
the
what
G-rated version.
Tell us what the bed race is.
September 22nd will be the second annual bed race. I believe it is scheduled to take place in the Cleveland Mall parking lot. What we do is we take twin size mattress, box springs, and mattresses. It's got to be on a frame, on rollers, decorated however you like. Teams of 5, you got one person at every post, and then a person that weighs at least, it's like 110 pounds, I think, laying on the bed. So you race from one end to the other. I'm not sure how far the distance is. Last year we had a team from Lee create a like a pirate ship bed race.
How many people were involved last year? How many people entered?
I think we had 5 teams. That's
teams.
probably totally wrong, but that's a guess. It's a good guess.
How well did Alan Mincy's team do in the bed race?
I'm not sure.
Was
if
it grand
Alan Mincy was
champion?
there.
No, this sounds like fun.
It's a
so
blast.
they pay a registration fee?
It is a registration fee. You can find sponsors. We can help you find sponsors. We can help with the beds as well. It's totally a lot of fun. And then we had because of some things that came up last year, we decided that there needed to be a smaller bed race for kids because there is like an age limit with the larger beds, just because you're talking about barreling down a parking lot with a large item that you
And
don't
that's
want
why
like
you're
9-year-olds
in
in there.
charge of a nonprofit and I'm not.
Exactly. See? So
Because that's about the exact opposite of the rule that we would have made if this TV show was creating a bed race. We would say the goal is to put the lightest, tiniest child on the bed because then you'll get more speed.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, well,
What's the registration fee?
I believe it's $100 between 5 people.
Okay.
All of this information is on our website, including pictures from last year.
Okay.
So you'll get a better idea.
And then I'm assuming that you make money off the registration, right? And then you make money off of all of the betting that goes on about, the over under on the on the people that are racing.
The under the table gambling? Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
So the gambling that goes on, you get a cut of the gambling.
Brian's in charge of that.
Absolutely. That's
That's
where I
fantastic.
come in.
That's actually a fantastic idea. I don't know. I'm not saying. This is where I get in trouble sometimes. I love Jesus. I think that Jesus would maybe approve of gambling for this event because you're helping homeless people.
I can see.
Yeah, maybe.
There's a logic there.
Maybe. We're going to ask some other folks.
He always
to
went
weigh in
against the
on
norm.
I don't
He
want to
always
think
went
it's
against the
definitive.
norm.
That's right.
He
I
always
don't
went
want it to
against the
sound
norm.
definitive like I know. I haven't asked him yet, but maybe we'll get a pastor in here next week. We'll ask him.
Oh.
He can weigh in on it, and if he says it's okay, that's what I'm saying.
Wide open.
Now you have a very exciting thing that just happened,
Yes.
Yes.
right?
Very.
And I want you to take a minute and tell the folks at home all about it, because I thought this is great. When you first contacted me and we were talking about you coming on the show, this is something you were telling me about, and I thought it was fantastic. So tell our viewers about it.
Yes, we have just 2 weeks ago, we graduated our last family. George and Wendy are the parents. They have a very large 7-member family, and they came into town and they worked really hard and did what they needed to do. They contacted all of the different agencies because there is a lot of work just getting yourself settled and figuring out, where the next night's coming, where you're staying, where the food's coming from. So, they went from homeless with no job to jobs and a home in 2 months' time.
In 2 months' time.
Which is phenomenal in this environment.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, how long do they stay at each church for 1 week?
Sunday
And they-
to Sunday.
They rotate
Yeah, they
between the
rotate from each
churches,
churches, yeah.
so that no church has to, I guess, provide the resources that longer than a week, and then they go to somewhere else, and then they go to somewhere else, and they come back around. How many churches are currently in the network?
We have, I believe it's 12 churches in the network. 2 of those have tornado damage. So that's, you know, we're trying to work with them around what's going on. I
Sure.
believe one of them's building a new church, so, you know, obviously we have no.
I think that what I think and find so fantastic about what you guys do, and if I could, is, and it was what I find most intriguing, is I work with a lot of nonprofits on a lot of levels. That's why I make a lot of jokes on the show about it. But it's really difficult for a nonprofit like yours that's sort of nebulous, that works with a lot of other organizations, to say, this is what we do, this is how we do it. And what I like about where you fit in our community, because we all love our local community, what I love about it is so, the idea, I've never been homeless, okay? It's just, I've been blessed, I've never been homeless. But it sounds just so terrifying, everything I think about it. Like, it's tough to even know what to think about being truly homeless, much less homeless with, for instance, with 7 children. You know, I have 2 children and a wife, and I think if we were homeless, what on earth? Like, where would I go? What would I do? And so I think what I love most about what you guys do is you're walking people through such a difficult time when they need someone to stand by them and to give them hope and to say, listen, let us help you get to the people in the right order to get you, you know, to where you're not homeless anymore. And it's so needed. It's such a functional, hopeful, life-giving thing that you guys are doing, and I think it's just absolutely fantastic.
Well, thank you. You have to remember, homeless doesn't necessarily mean what most people think it means. Homeless today, you know, it's not necessarily just on the street. If you ever lived with a family member or a friend and didn't actually pay rent or on the
Then I was homeless for like 30 years.
Exactly. So,
I'm kidding. I was out of my house before then. But I was maybe living with my mom for a while, and if living somewhere with family members and not paying rent is being homeless, then maybe I know a thing or two about it. But I get the feeling my homeless was a little different than this homeless.
Probably so. And
So,
motels as well.
Where do most of the people, how do they find you? I mean, you know what I mean? How do they know to find you?
Referrals through different agencies. If they go to another agency because they're lacking food or lacking clothing or they just don't have anything, then these agencies that we're partnering with can refer them to us. They come in contact with churches to contact them for assistance. A lot of times they'll start calling the churches, and the churches are aware of what we do.
Great.
Is there another?
Our volunteers
Yeah, volunteers.
out there know what we do.
You have a lot of
what we're about.
volunteers?
We have
Yes.
over
In fact,
300.
I'm the only paid staff person. And so everything else is volunteer based. All our churches, all our office assistants are all volunteers. Drivers,
Our gardener.
our gardener, we have a
gardeners.
volunteer gardener.
That's swanky.
It's awesome. Our yard looks great.
Not too many nonprofits have their own volunteer gardener.
Well, I'm so thankful that you came on our show today. I'm glad that our viewers get to hear about this awesome cause that you guys are supporting. Why don't you go look right there at camera 2 one more time before we go to commercial, and tell camera 2 and all of our viewers out there again where people can go online to check you out, how they can donate and stuff like that.
Okay. You can go to www.familypromisebradley.org. It's got all of our contact information, all of the information, including a PayPal site that you can donate directly from the website. You can, if you want to get involved in the organization, contact us at 650-650-4106. Brian will probably answer the phone.
Absolutely, and we are in need of all kinds of different types of volunteers, and we welcome anybody, whatever your skill set is, whatever you'd like to do, we'll find a place for you.
Absolutely.
We'll find a place for you.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show. Eva, Brian, the boy wonder.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you, and we'll have you back in the future. But to be completely honest, what'll probably happen is like Alan Mincy and Nancy Neal, Nancy Neal doesn't have her own show. Who am I thinking of? Nancy Kaysen. Kaysen, I'm sorry. She doesn't watch my show. So here's the deal. They're going to get to you next, because they get all the good guests. This one, I only got you on accident, is what I'm telling you. Normally, you would have been on Mincy's show before mine. But thank you so much for being here, and we will be right back with Hollywood diva Phyllis Wilbanks after this message.
Have annoying biting and stinging insects taken over your yard? Volunteer Ritapest can get it back. Make your yard a no-fly zone with Mosquito Guard. Volunteer Ritapest will eliminate these annoying pests, and you'll be able to work in your yard, have a pool party, a cookout, allow your children to play outside, or just sit outside and enjoy the evening. Volunteer Ritapest has developed an extremely effective treatment program that treats all shrubs, bushes, trees, and other foliage where mosquitoes and other biting, stinging insects live and breed. This material will not harm your plants or trees and leaves no harmful residue. This treatment program is safe for use around children and pets, but the best part is it's 100% guaranteed. If you are not 100% satisfied, Volunteer Ritapest will retreat for free until you are satisfied, or after 30 days, will cancel their agreement and refund 100% of your money. Give Volunteer Ritapest a call for a free no-obligation estimate. Phone 472-7736.
I'm Byron Winters with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. Contact me for all of your business insurance needs. From general liability to workers' comp, commercial auto, and business umbrellas, Landmark Insurance has you covered.
And we're back. You're watching Tennessee Valley this morning. It's early Friday morning. We're having a great show, right?
Yes, we are.
And with us now, our own local Hollywood diva. You've seen her here. You've seen her on many, many productions throughout Hollywood. Our own local, though. She's a local legend of film, Phyllis Wilbanks. And she's here to talk about her latest feature film. It's being shot right now in Chattanooga.
That's right.
42. Phyllis, thanks for being on the show.
You flatter me, Rob. Thank you for having me.
So, Phyllis, here's the thing. And it makes me wish, this is where, the Slinky's going to be bummed. Because Slinky has been following...
He tweeted me immediately.
Yeah.
That's awesome, you're there!
Right, yeah. He's been following your career, your rise to stardom for a while. He has all your trading cards. He has everything. And we discuss
They'll be
it
worth
on
something someday.
They will be. They're going to be worth it. They're going to be worth $1.25 million.
That would be so awesome, actually.
But, here's the thing, is that
student loans.
you are currently filming a movie in Chattanooga with, 3,000 of your closest friends or whatever,
Actually,
right?
Actually,
I don't know.
On the first day, there were about 1,200 extras.
Really?
Yes. And then and they had a terrible thunderstorm, like rain cats and dogs. It was deluge, and they didn't cover the field. So they're optimistically saying, we'll start filming in again about 20 minutes.
No, but that didn't happen.
No, they had shop vacs vacuuming the water off the baseball field.
That's because this is
I'm not
Hollywood.
kidding
That's because
you.
it's Hollywood.
That was ridiculous. It was 3 hours later, they were bleeding people. People were like, this is so not what I expected. I'm out of here.
Well, the thing is...
But I hung in there.
You did.
Yeah.
And you just hung in. Now, you're on the set. Your boy, Nick, is on the set, right? Isn't Nicholas on the set?
He came with me the first week, then, and we were there all 5 days. The second week, he did not come back.
Okay. He said, this is not what I expected.
Exactly. He was one of those that went, oh, forget this Hollywood mess.
But so honestly, though, how did you find out about the casting call?
My husband. I did theater in college. I have a community theater as an adult. I have a thing for acting. I enjoy it. And he keeps a pulse through social media on different events that are happening in Chattanooga and Cleveland and our surrounding area. And he said, this looks fun. You should totally do this.
So to what extent what did you know going in? What was it?
I knew nothing.
You went the first day, what did you know?
I knew that they were asking for extras for the film. I knew the film was a biopic on Jackie Robinson, who, is a baseball legend. In 1947, he broke the color barrier, which is interesting because they were already serving in the military. They were already contributing in many other great ways in the entertainment industry. But in baseball, there was this line.
Yeah, they had their own leagues.
They did.
They had their own leagues.
Right.
It was tough to switch over because it was so heavily
And
segregated.
so the part that Harrison Ford plays is the manager or the owner of the team, the Dodgers, Branch Rickey. and he brings him on and makes a pact with him. I want to bring you into the American or the National League. I don't know that it was the National League at the time. I'm not really a baseball fan, but I am a Hollywood fan.
Right, that's fair. That's fair.
That's fair.
That's fair. That's
So the
fair.
question is, does Harrison Ford get to say who's scruffy looking at some point in this?
I hope he does.
I hope so too.
I hope that he does. You know what? Ashley's still waiting for them to make like a combined Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who crossover comic book.
You might wait a while.
That he can stump me with. That he can stump me with.
So the Harrison Ford's character brings Jackie Robinson onto the baseball, the team, but he does it with this agreement that Jackie will not respond to any antagonistic attacks, any racial slurs. He will maintain composure at all costs. And so what is interesting, what I have observed, Robinson's widow helped with the development of the script of the film, so it's probably pretty historically, accurate. And the racial slurs and the stuff that he had to deal with, just absolutely mind-blowing. Just really, really, really bad. But what's interesting is the Dodgers, his teammates, rose to the occasion and backed him up every single time in all the scenes that I've seen and observed. And then because I'm curious now, I've been reading, and it's very interesting how they really had his back at that time.
So now this sounds like it would be uncomfortable for me, because are they making like people yell racial slurs
Yes.
and stuff at him?
Absolutely.
Are you yelling
No.
racial slurs at him?
No. They did say if your birthday is January through March, then you are for Jackie. If your birthday is for the last half of the year, then you reserve judgment. So I haven't had to yell anything, but you do hear them yelling on the team, and they're using really
That would make me
foul.
super
And it's so funny 'cause
uncomfortable.
We've had conversations as extras. Yeah, I'm placing it on my Facebook when the movie comes out. Please don't believe a word I said. I was just following directions.
Right, yeah. So how many people are they calling back? I mean, you've been on the set a lot.
I was there every single day, and as I said, the first day they had about 1,200 extras. It's been 1,000 or 1,200 is what
Yeah.
I heard. But they have only had, I think probably, I did not go today, and I think yesterday they may have had 400.
And this is mostly game. You're in the game.
Yes, you're filling the stadium. You're filling
Is that the
stands.
only part of the movie being shot here? Is that part of
I
it?
couldn't confirm or deny that, but it's primarily the scenes that the extras are used in are filling the stadium stands. And they have been shooting some locker room scenes. I know that because anytime they're shooting anywhere in the stadium, we all have to be quiet because sound carries.
Okay. So there's probably our hopes that there's going to be like a Harrison Ford, Jackie Robinson buddy cop flick in the downtown streets of Chattanooga. That is
never
probably
know.
not going to happen.
I don't know. Harrison
Because
Ford,
that would be awesome if a good idea for a script, Hollywood, would be if Harrison Ford says, Jackie, I'm going to bring you on baseball over here, but you got to promise not to react, right? And so Jackie, he's just playing ball, and his team, they're behind him. But the racial slurs, they just keep going, and they keep going, and they keep going, until finally Harrison Ford walks out, and he looks at Jackie, and he goes, let's do this. And then the whole film changes, and it's no longer a baseball biopic, but instead it's a buddy cop film of them enacting revenge on all the racists.
sort of like
But
Dragnet,
but
maybe.
my question
Well, I was-
is, can the Jackie Robinson character go? Oh,
Yeah. See,
you rockin'?
Freaking me out right now.
Yeah.
all I was thinking
all I
is
can
that
make
he-
You know what
references
makes me
to.
feel very uncomfortable? That. What just happened, camera one, that makes me feel so uncomfortable. I don't even, you're channeling the spirit of Ryan
That's
while he's gone. No, I don't think that Jackie Robinson, the American baseball hero, should be Chewbacca. I don't actually think that. Ashley, you can meet him, angry people, at his next Doctor Who convention and have this discussion. Now, Phyllis, here's the thing. This is not your first time working with Harrison Ford. Obviously, the first time that you worked with Harrison Ford would have been on the set of The Empire Strikes Back, where he was playing Han Solo, and you were the stunt double for Princess Leia.
That's
Tell
right.
us how
Those
that.
braids
Tell
were-
us what that was like.
Those braids were really the bobby pins. And,
Crazy?
yeah, didn't like that makeup experience at all.
So was it weird for you guys to see each other now that you're so much older?
Actually, he won't be here till next week, so he doesn't know that I'm around.
Oh man, he's going to be excited.
I
though.
know.
He's going to be excited
it'll
because
be a thrilling
you go
reunion.
so far back. Now, how long does the filming continue?
They'll be filming Monday and Tuesday of next week, and they're supposed to film tomorrow, but I'm not certain. They may call the production off because of rain.
Do you know when's the movie due?
The movie will be released next April, I believe April 15th, and it's the significant date is the anniversary of when Jackie Robinson signed with the Dodgers.
I think what's cool about this is with Harrison Ford in it, it's a big movie.
It ought to be really big. I'm really, really excited about it, and I don't really do, again, sports movies, not my thing. More of a rom-com girl. But I have enjoyed being on the set. I've learned a lot about the other side of production. It's an insane amount of work. The amount of the crew, there are almost as many people on the field moving things around, setting for a shot, operating the cameras, just on and on and on, as there are in the stadium. They're like ants, just everywhere. It's been crazy.
Are there any other famous people in it?
Christopher Maloney from SUV Law. Is he Law and Order? Christopher Maloney. Somebody help me. Is CSI? All I know is because I'm a rom-com girl. He was in Runaway Bride with Julie Roberts.
Okay,
he was the first boyfriend that was like, focus.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I saw him on the set, but they don't really want you to bother the celebrities and like ask them for their pictures, and I was trying to follow the rules at the beginning of the week, and so I was like, well, he's really close to me. There he is. I saw him.
But no.
No, I didn't. I didn't try to chase him down and get an autograph
normal.
or whatever.
I think that's good though, since
It's
you're
the work environment.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
They shouldn't be bothered.
Since you're in the industry anyway, you're going to see him all the time. You're going to see him
Absolutely.
like
What
at
am I
industry lunches and
Sure.
red carpet events
Sure.
and things. Are there any plans to have some sort of big screening for it in Chattanooga? I mean, sure.
I don't know. I think it would be fun though, and some of the extras that I've met, which has been interesting. Some people are true characters, and some people I've found share values, and I'm like, we'll be Facebook friends.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So we've talked about having a viewing of our own. We're going to watch it frame by frame, so we can pick ourselves out in the crowd.
I think that's awesome. Do you have any now? This thing you've been a part of it now. The future.
Oh.
What's the future
Well,
for you?
I would love to do more of this kind of work,
Would you?
but I will have to make sure that my husband understands the level of commitment involved before I sign on to any more projects of this magnitude.
That's probably fair. It's not easy being married to a Hollywood diva, and I know.
No. Are you married to one as well?
I'm married to a Hollywood diva.
Absolutely.
Right
I
now.
ought to think about and getting together with her.
So, well, Phyllis, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
The film is called 42.
42.
It's filming right now in our very own Chattanooga. And for those of you here in Cleveland, here she is.
Here I am.
Co-star
Look for me in
Harrison
the
Ford.
stands.
Harrison Ford co-star, non-racial slur person.
In fact, I'm behind the dugout when the worst tirade happens, being so offended the director told me to calm down.
Yeah, because he was like, you wouldn't have been that offended. In the
No,
1920s.
I'm not. I'm serious. He said, dial it back. You need to be half as offended because we see you on frame and you stand out.
There you go. That's how. Well, you know, that's a lot different than if he'd been on it. It was a little different. Listen, we're going to be right back with the preview review after this.
I'm Wes Robbins with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. When it comes to employee benefits, we've got you covered. Call me today for the best service and best solutions to your group health and employee benefits needs. At Landmark Insurance Brokerage, we've got you covered.
Have annoying biting and stinging insects taken over your yard? Volunteer Ritapest can get it back. Make your yard a no-fly zone with Mosquito Guard. Volunteer Ritapest will eliminate these annoying pests, and you'll be able to work in your yard, have a pool party, a cookout, allow your children to play outside, or just sit outside and enjoy the evening. Volunteer Ritapest has developed an extremely effective treatment program that treats all shrubs, bushes, trees, and other foliage where mosquitoes and other biting, stinging insects live and breed. This material will not harm your plants or trees and leaves no harmful residue. This treatment program is safe for use around children and pets, but the best part is it's 100% guaranteed. If you are not 100% satisfied, Volunteer Ritapest will retreat for free until you are satisfied, or after 30 days, will cancel their agreement and refund 100% of your money. Give Volunteer Ritapest a call for a free no-obligation estimate. Phone 472-7736.
And we're back. I said you're back, and you're back, and you're back too. They're back.
They're back.
You're watching Tennessee Valley this morning, the Lights, Camera, Cleveland edition. I'm Rob Alderman. Slinky's not here. Ashley's in his place. We've had a good show.
I think so.
It's been good.
Apparently I offend you.
We're going to... You don't offend me. I mean, I am offended sometimes, but you didn't offend me. We're not... Listen, if you missed the last segment, don't watch it. Or at least don't watch certain parts of it. Here's the deal.
It was a Star Wars, right?
You know what time it is?
Yes, I do.
It's time for the review. This is the part of the show where Ashley and I are going to review the previews. We're going to tell you what movies are opening that you should know about, what you should go to, and what you should stay away from. Keep in mind, we have not seen these films. We've only seen the trailers and read the reviews. And we have some good uns, as they say here in the South. We got several really good ones opening. One that's not on our sheet, that's not on the lappy here, okay?
Okay.
That I do want to get to. The first one is Piranha 3D.
Piranha 3D.
That one opens, continuing the long-standing tradition of horrible films about super piranhas that eat you. But this time in 3D, it's Piranha 3D. So what are you going to give it?
I'm just going to go ahead and give it a hate.
You don't like it?
No.
Well, I'm going to tell you. If it's anything like the other Piranha movies, I'm going to also give it a hate. Actually, I liked the first Piranha back in the day. When I was a little kid, it scared me. After it had already been in movie theaters and then they released it on TV, I watched it one Sunday afternoon, and it was not pleasant.
Right.
It was very, very frightening.
Well, I mean, it goes into the same Anaconda. And
yeah, it's important every once in a
while.
It's important that the movies come out with some new angry animal.
Or an old angry animal.
Yeah, we don't want to be too safe out there. Okay, now let's dive in. We're going to go through these quick. You ready? We got 6 minutes. Snow White and the Huntsman. In the epic action-adventure Snow White and the Huntsman, Kristen Stewart plays the only person in the land fairer than the evil queen, played by Charlize Theron, out to destroy her. But what the wicked ruler never imagined is that the young woman threatening her reign has been training in the art of war with a huntsman, played by Thor's Chris Hemsworth. Dispatched to kill her. Sam Claflin joins the cast as the prince long enchanted by Snow White's beauty and power. What are you going to give it?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I really like Chris Hemsworth in Thor.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's already being typecast in that kind of role.
Right.
I don't know. I would say a hate probably. I think it might be good, but
here's what it is. I know why you're conflicted, my friend.
Right.
Here it is, camera one. I'm also giving this film a hate, and here's why. This is a cool idea.
Yeah.
That's the problem with this
But
movie.
there's too many of those Snow White cool ideas coming out this summer.
That's right. This is a cool idea. It should be cool that Snow White, like instead of getting a normal Snow White movie, instead we get a Kung Fu Snow White.
Right.
That's a good idea. This is a bad idea.
Right.
This film is a bad idea with the wrong actors. Like, Charlize Theron and Chris Hemsworth should have stayed away from this film. They shouldn't be part of it. I'm giving it a hate. On to Battlefield America, a steady look at the underbelly of the youth battle dance culture in Long Beach, California. Sean Lewis, a young, charismatic, successful businessman, finds himself in the mix with a bunch of disheveled, misfit bad boys who have virtually no dance talent. Realizing his dilemma, Sean brings aboard a professional dance instructor to ease his responsibility to these kids. Meanwhile, he finds himself falling for Sarah, who runs the community center where the kids hang out and practice their moves. With Sean motivating them, the bad boys find the confidence to rise to the challenge and defeat their nemesis, the Bang Squad, at the annual dance battle competition, Battlefield America. Yes! 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 I give this film a hate, but you still have to see it. Listen, I remember seeing the trailers for this thing a long time ago, and it was crazy because it looked, at first I thought it was a war movie, and it's called Battlefield America. They're not, this is the best part, is they're like little kids, man, and they like do like a, you know, and then like the other kids are kind of like, and like there's judges, and it's like, who's gonna dance off? And like when they dance in each other's faces, the ref's like, oh! And people are like, whoa!
It's what I imagine Karate Kid would be like if it was made now.
I wish.
And I'm also going to give this a hate.
Listen,
but of course I like movies with laser guns in it.
Listen, you've got to see this film. I think what's funny is that they're actually acting like that there's an underbelly of youth battle dance culture in Long Beach. Like, people are just walking down the street in Long Beach like, honey, isn't this a fantastic vacation we're having? What?
And then the dance gangs come in. I hope there is a scene.
He's got a robot!
I hope there is a scene for dance fighting. I hope there's a dance fighting scene that involves Nazis.
Oh man, I hope the whole thing. Listen, the whole thing is so crazy that you gotta see it. You're gonna wait till DVD, but you're gonna see it.
Right.
All right. Finally, this one's my favorite. We gotta hurry. High School. Now I know what you're thinking. We're just talking about the seedy underbelly of dance culture among little kids. But here you go, man. As if this lineup couldn't get any worse this week. The day after soon-to-be valedictorian Henry Burke takes a hit of the chronic for the first time, his high school principal institutes a zero-tolerance drug policy and administers a mandatory drug test for all students. Henry has two options: fail and lose his college scholarship, or team up with his stoner friend Burrow to beat the system. They steal a high-powered ganja from law student turned drug dealer Psycho Ed and spike the school's bake sale brownies, getting the whole school faculty included completely stoned out of their minds. But with the student body getting higher and higher with every brownie, and an angry Psycho Ed on their tails for stealing his stash, they must find a way to keep their half-baked plan from going up in smoke. Yes! The movie gods are smiling on us.
They ended that with Up in Smoke, which is a play on
Cheech and Chong,
right.
Here's the deal. Every once in a while, there has to be a good stoner movie that comes out. This one is not it. I'm giving it a hate. What about you?
Yes, I hate drug movies. It's just a rule of thumb.
Well, here's the deal. We're out of time. It's been fantastic. Don't go to the movies this weekend. That's all we can say.
Unless you go see the Avengers again.
Until next time, I'm Rob and I love Cleveland.
And I'm Ashley and I love Cleveland.
Let's all love Cleveland together. Peace out. Dance. Yeah, dance. Dance.
Me?
Yeah, dance off. Let's throw down like it's Long Beach till the credits get here. You ready? Go to commercial, Joe!